Lollipop Chainsaw is a very quirky, very silly game that originally launched on the Xbox 360 over 12 years ago. I loved the game a ton back then, but eventually the 360 got packed away and I'm way too lazy to dig it out these days unless it's a special occasion. So I was pretty hyped to hear a remaster was coming out. Hi there, I'm Areku, your local Foxy emotional support VTuber, here with another review. I bought Lollipop Chainsaw Repop on Steam and played it through entirely in one sitting on stream. And it's certainly a remaster, I guess. But before that, let me go over the game a bit and explain why it's so special. Lollipop Chainsaw is an action game made by Suda51, a developer known for incredibly quirky action games like Killer 7 and No More Heroes. Just like those games, Lollipop Chainsaw doesn't disappoint in the silly factor. The story begins by introducing you to Juliet Starling, a cheerleader who wakes up on the morning of her 18th birthday. You're quickly informed she comes from a family of zombie hunters, which becomes immediately relevant as you're thrown into a zombie attack on her way to school. It becomes very clear very quickly that this game doesn't take itself seriously, and neither should you. It has a sheer joyful energy about it that makes the game just pure fun in everything it does, with lots of spectacle and flashy lights. And honestly, some of the most hilarious dialogue and charming line delivery I've seen in any game out there.
How do you know how to perform a magical ritual on my decapitated head? He gave me a D last week, kill him!
If I use this ticket, I can totally use your cool powers.
Whatever, dude. Juliet, where are we going?
I need to find Morikawa-sensei. He'll know what to do.
Sensei? Like a teacher?
I didn't know you spoke Japanese, Nick!
Well,
Osekoi, watashi mo, Nihiko o hanashimasu.
I can't speak Japanese, Juliet. I just know that one word.
Aw, your simple innocence is one of the most attractive things about you.
Yeah.
You're like a kitten that doesn't speak Japanese.
Yeah, okay.
I can shoot your head with this.
What?
This is what drew me to Lollipop Chainsaw in the original release, and despite some issues, everything that made the original game so great is still here in this remaster for the most part. If you've never played the original, playing this new version certainly beats never experiencing this gaming gem at all, and I fully endorse you giving it a try. That said, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop has some very jarring issues that leave it feeling a bit lacking if you have a frame of reference. I purchased the remaster on Steam and played it on PC, so I don't know if all these issues extend to the console version as well. But from some posts I've seen around the internet, console versions of Repop don't seem much better. Firstly, I'd like to address some false information I've seen around the internet. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop is not censored, unless you're one of those people on Twitter getting upset her boob physics jiggle slightly less. It's just crazy nitpicking and probably not even intentional given the other issues this remaster has, by the way. Instead, there's a censored option to play the game, where blood and gore is replaced with sparkly lights, hearts, and fireworks. I'm not exactly sure what the point of this new mode is exactly, but as someone who isn't crazy about gore, I didn't mind it, and it did kind of fit the zany visuals the game tries to have. You can simply not choose the mode if you want the bloody bits. But to move on to an actually serious issue, the audio mixing is abysmal in some parts of the game. Sound effects will sometimes become completely inaudible, or the audio will desync completely. It wasn't a constant thing, but it happened often enough to be noticeable, and it was jarring every single time. The visuals also feel like a bit of a downgrade, which is really strange for a remaster coming out 12 years later. Lighting is very intense in some scenes, and everything feels a bit brighter and flatter, but opinions may differ on this. The lack of graphic settings in the options menu is also weird. But more on the positive, there are some new quality of life additions, like the accessibility feature to have all QTE prompts complete for you no matter what you actually press. This option was actually on by default for me, and I spent my entire first playthrough being really confused about it. It was kinda funny. I also ran into several issues that I can only describe as optimization problems. Some of the animations were very choppy and strange. I'm pretty positive that they didn't look like this in the original game. There were also noticeably more bugs and jank than I remember. To be fair, this was already kind of an endearingly janky game, but nothing this bad ever happened to me in the original. Maybe I was unlucky? There's also a handful of new costumes you can dress Juliet in, and I think all of them are pretty great. Now, a big elephant in the room is also the new soundtrack. A big part of Lollipop Chainsaw's identity 12 years ago was the placement of several memorable sequences with licensed music. Since they couldn't get the rights to the original game's licensed track the second time, everything features new music. With the exception of the title screen music that I didn't care for too much, they actually weren't that bad. I especially like the new power-up theme. Even if it can't really compare to the good old Hey Mickey we had before, it could be a lot worse. Along my first playthrough stream, I was really struggling to put into words how it felt. Returning to this game I really enjoyed a long time ago, but seeing all these issues and problems. Not just minor issues either, but much more serious things than just having some songs replaced. Feels like they tried to do something here to spice the game up, but they didn't actually playtest it much or have the budget, compared to the original vision the game had. Maybe they'll make some patches to correct these issues after this video goes up. I really don't like making negative videos. It's a lot more fun to hype something up than not for me, but I can't help but be a bit disappointed here. In the end though, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop is still mostly the same fun, great game from 12 years ago. It still made me smile, and laugh, and feel nostalgic. But the issues were very apparent. So apparent that even someone who didn't play the original for the frame of reference that I have will be able to notice most of them. But it is what it is. If you've never played Lollipop Chainsaw and you don't have a way to experience the original, it's better than nothing. I'd just say it's disappointing this is what we ended up with when it could have been so much better. Hey, thanks for watching. A bit of a shorter review, but if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. You can also check my other videos or follow on Twitch to know when I'm live. I'm trying lots of new things lately, and I would love to hear from you. This game was really special to me back in the day, so here's hoping the team behind the remaster releases some patches. But what do you think of Lollipop Chainsaw? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a fantastic day.